Welcome to another Mystical Perspective. I'm your host, Reverend Cindy Paulus. Happy to be here with you again today. I think we're up to number 25 in the series now. I've been delving into the book Spiritual Mind Power Affirmations, which is by Dr. Paul Leon Masters. By the way, he has a new book out that just came out this last week, which is a metaphysical, meditation dynamics. That's it, meditation dynamics. The works here are based on Dr. Paul Leon Masters' work, and this particular book was his second, and you can get it at metaphysics.com. Plus, the lectures are available, which were the original basis for these talks, at metaphysics.com/Paul-Leon-lectures. And we always enjoy going through the affirmations together here, get to do that, and then go into a reflection and a meditation on some of the affirmations. And today's talk is a very important one. It's on what we all sometimes need, spiritual energy healing. Spiritual energy healing is something that at some point in our life we all call upon, many in different ways, sometimes through prayers. These are affirmations, and we will include a meditation on that as well. But starting with the first one here, it's the human body. I recognize that my body is an energy field comprised of many frequencies of energy. So, of course, if we go to the fact that all of life is energy, we in our body have many different kinds and frequencies of energy within our body. And depending on where we're focusing and what we're focusing on, we can amplify that energy, we can modify that energy, and we can heal that energy. So repeating this, I recognize that my body is an energy field comprised of many frequencies of energy. And sometimes we are stuck in our head, and sometimes we're stuck in other places of our body. But it's really good to have an overview and just be objective in seeing ourselves as an energy field. Then we can work with that energy field to heal it, of course. The next affirmation is the human mind. I recognize that the human mind is a field of energy, one with the energy field of my body. Of course, the power of the mind is huge, so when we recognize that our human mind is a field of energy as well, we can then tap that energy field into working with being in balance with and healing our body. So repeating that affirmation, the human mind. I recognize that the human mind is a field of energy, one with the energy field of my body. Next affirmation is primal light energy. I recognize that primal light energy, or Christ mind consciousness, is the originating and controlling energy for both my body and mind's energy. So we're going to the ultimate light here, that one light of the Christ mind consciousness, which is the originating and controlling energy of the light within the body and the mind's energy. So repeating this primal light energy, of course, light is a key for healing as well. I recognize that primal light energy, or Christ mind consciousness, is the originating and controlling energy for both my body and mind's energy. So here again, we're letting our light be infused from that one source of light, the light consciousness, the Christ mind consciousness, and turning the control over to that, recognizing that that's the original force of energy. The next one's health chains of command. I recognize that the Christ mind consciousness in me controls the human level of my mind. And through this level, the energy consciousness frequencies throughout my physical body. Now, take, for example, the channel you're on. We're all kind of tuned into thoughts and different things. Right now, you're tuned into these positive affirmations. Now, the energy and frequency and vibration of healing and light and Christ mind consciousness is the highest light mind consciousness and can transform the consciousness and the frequencies of your body and mind. So repeating health chains of command, I recognize that the Christ mind consciousness in me controls the human level of my mind. And through this level, the energy consciousness frequencies throughout my physical body. So if you're in a room filled with light, that light is in and around you. If you're tied into that light, you feel that light, you become that light, you absorb that light. And that's what you're doing with the consciousness when you connect with Christ mind consciousness. Drugs. I understand that drugs, reduced to their essential, are, in fact, energy frequencies that influence energy frequencies in the human body, with an expectation of maintaining health as a preventative or restoring it. So we're talking about not drugs that you take for recreation. These are drugs that you take for healing or for, any kind of use, whether anything from a headache to trying to cure yourself of a serious disease. But what we're trying to discuss here is that what you're doing when you're taking drugs is actually creating a different energy frequency. Those drugs are creating that energy frequency, which then create in you a reaction to overcome something that could be a headache, a migraine headache, it could be anything else. So let's repeat that. Drugs. I understand that drugs reduced to their essential are in fact energy frequencies that influence energy frequencies in the human body, with an expectation of maintaining health as a preventative or restoring it. So what are we doing when we're taking a prescribed drug, prescription? Now there's this thing called the placebo effect. We've all heard of that. How can a drug that is not the drug that you're being told you're taking, it's actually when you're taking a test, they give you a placebo and you're told it's a drug, but you're not actually taking that drug. They're trying to find out the effectiveness of the drug. And they find out through all these tests that there's a placebo effect, that people who are being told they're taking a drug to help them or cure them will be helped or cured, even though they haven't taken the drug, because their mind has created the belief in the energy that this indeed is a healing thing they're taking. That's the power of the mind. Now, of course, there are drugs and prescription drugs which will help to relieve something like a migraine headache, etc., and to much more serious diseases. And they have found through tests and research that when you do certain things with atoms, certain things with drugs that they have found, you can actually change a vibration within your body. You can change a frequency within your body because it comes all down to energy frequencies, right? So we're understanding what drugs are doing here. Sometimes placebo effects, sometimes actually creating an energy frequency that is different within your body. The next one's medical treatment. I understand that medical treatment through surgery or any other treatment in the final analysis is to change energy frequencies throughout the body or in a localized part to bring about healing. Okay, this is another step of what we were just talking about, another part. This is when you actually get into surgery, or you're getting into some kind of treatment, medical treatment, and that medical treatment is also changing energy frequencies. Repeating this affirmation, I understand that medical treatment through surgery or any other treatment in the final analysis is to change the energy frequencies throughout the body or in a localized part to bring about healing. And the next one here is alternative modalities. I understand that all alternative or complementary healing modalities to traditional allopathic medicine are also, in fact, to change or maintain energy frequencies in tune with health. And again, we're saying there's other forms, holistic forms here, of natural healing, naturopathic healing, that also do the same thing to change your energy frequencies. Repeating that, alternative modalities. I understand that all alternative or complementary healing modalities to traditional allopathic medicine are also, in fact, to change or maintain energy frequencies in tune with the health. So again, there's many, many ways we can work with changing our energy frequencies. From the light and the Christ light to actually taking prescribed drugs, to taking holistic and naturopathic drugs, and the next one, meditation. Through my daily practice of meditation, I am intuitively guided through the Christ mind of my consciousness, one with God, as to drugs, medical treatment, alternative treatment, and spiritual healing in regard to maintaining the health of my body, mind, and soul, or restoring it. Now you notice here we bring in the soul. It's the first time in these affirmations that we're bringing in the soul. But obviously, if we're going to look at a being holistically, you have to realize that it's all connected. The body and the mind and the soul. Of course, emotions as well. And in meditation, we are working with the entire being, repeating this affirmation, meditation. Through my daily practice of meditation, I am intuitively guided through the Christ mind of my consciousness, one with God, as to drugs, medical treatment, alternative treatment, and spiritual healing in regards to maintaining the health of my body, mind, and soul, or restoring it. And lastly, the last affirmation here, spiritual healing. I recognize that the absolute premise of spiritual healing is to establish healthful energy frequencies in my body, mind, and soul through the Christ mind part of consciousness energy within me. Again, repeating spiritual healing. I recognize that the absolute premise of spiritual healing is to establish healthful energy frequencies in my body, mind, and soul through the Christ mind part of consciousness within me. So there's many ways of healing, and of course that includes Reiki, included in here, long distance healing as well. And now there's become a huge field of sound therapy healing by using sound and tonal energies that are very, very powerful to align with and change these frequencies. They're designed to change the frequencies of your body and maintain and restore what is needed to become whole. But it, as we just saw, goes back also into spiritual healing, because there may be some deep things and deep-seated things in our consciousness that may need forgiving, that may need healing, that can cause disease, things that affected us that actually can put us out of that perfect aligned energy that we are in when we're aligned with God. I'm going to tell you a little story. It happened quite a few years ago. I had moved to Northern California to start a radio station up in Santa Rosa. And I'd only been there about 4 or 5 months. And the first time there was Memorial Day holiday, I was looking forward to it. I had a horse and I was going to go out and go riding and everything. And about a week before that happened, I had this dream. And in the dream, I was in a room, and in that room, I asked people, it was a waiting room for taking off to go on a plane, and I asked, what am I doing in this room? And I was told by someone in this dream, oh, well, we've died, we're choosing where we're going. And I said, well, how do you do that? And there was a podium. He said, go to the podium there and look. And when I looked at the podium, at the book, it became living videos of places I could have been and I could go. And one was where I was living at that time along the Russian River. And I decided to go back and not to go and leave to go somewhere else, but to stay. And when I awoke, I knew that I had decided to stay. Now, here's the interesting thing that ties in with healing. I knew I wasn't going to die. I knew I was going to live. And about a week later, when I was going out horseback riding, my horse threw me. And I was thrown, and I tried to walk, and I couldn't because I almost passed out. And I had to literally crawl back to the stable with holding onto my horse's saddle. The saddle had the stirrups. And I made it back and went to the hospital and almost died because I almost drowned in my own fluid. It turned out I had broken a rib when I got thrown from my horse. But they couldn't stop it. And after a week, they decided to do surgery. And the exact place where my rib had broken, where they went in to explore what was going on, they found a tumor. And they had to take out that tumor. It was lymphoma. And if I had not had the dream, I wouldn't have known I would have been okay. And I would have not necessarily had the right kind of frequencies going into it, but I knew I was going to live. And by having and setting up that chain of events, that thing happened where my horse, which would have been considered by some people a bad thing, where my horse threw me and I ended up in the hospital. It landed up saving my life because it found the exact place where my rib broke was right where the tumor was in my lung. Now, the chances of that happening are beyond trying to figure out the odds. But something in me from inner side, my subconscious, let me have that dream. And then something that triggered all the events that followed, including having the surgery, and took out that tumor in my lung, which just half my right lung. Happened many years ago, and I became fine, and I was healed. But it was a chain of events that happened. And so healing can happen in interesting ways. And when I was in the hospital, I told the doctor, I wrote something up that I wanted him to read about him being an instrument for the light, and that he was turning himself over into the hands of God. I felt a little embarrassed asking him to do that, but I knew he had to be an instrument of healing in God. And he indeed wrote that, the affirmations that I wrote down from before I did the surgery. And it landed up being okay. Of course, since then I've become a Reiki master. I do many healings. But, and I work with light, When we work with light and we're light workers, we realize the power of light that we have. When we can go into that sacred place within and be in that light, in the light of faith and peace and true understanding of the power of God and Christ consciousness, that sets up these frequencies that allow us to go into further healing. It also gives us the faith we need, because when we get sick, we are not always strong enough to be in that place to do good healing for ourselves. So we need to pray, and we need to have people praying with us, and we need to totally turn it over to the Christ light, the God consciousness. You need to be able to call forth the Creator to assist you to clear away any vibrations or any thoughts or anything that is blocking your own divine healing. You need to be able to restore every single cell and atom of your body, mind, and emotions. And when you let that Christ light and surrender to that, to be in control, your true state of being is already healed. In that state, you are healed. This is the power of turning yourself over to the healing power of light and God. We can allow ourselves to go into this state as we meditate, as I mentioned from Dr. Master's affirmations. So that's always a powerful opening. And this is also, of course, very good to do before you go to sleep at night, because while you're sleeping, your body is healing. And you can program your mind to heal itself, and as you direct it to while you're sleeping, so you can supercharge that healing process while you're sleeping. So let's just take a few deep breaths. Let's kind of sit erect and relax and let the energy flow through our body. Just kind of completely breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for a few counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in and deeply relaxing. Breathing out. Finding that calm, still point within. Connecting with your soul. Connecting your soul with the one source, that Christ light, the power of God. Calling upon the light that is the ultimate light, the light that is the tool that can heal you. Allowing this light to come into your body and your mind and your soul and your emotions, into every cell of your very being. Let it clear out any energy blocks so that all of the light can flow through your entire body, mind, and soul, and be attuned with the healing energy of God. Release anything that might be a negative pattern, anything that can be now cleared by this healing light energy. This brilliant white light can come and clear the blocks. Scan your body, and if there's anything that feels that is blocked from receiving this energy, send that energy now to that point within your body. Is there anything within your mind that is blocking your belief of healing? Send this pure light from the source and your soul to your mind to allow that healing light to indeed do its work. Ask for help from God to release anything that is diseased, to release any blocks, to release any pain. Breathe out any attachments to thoughts about your situation. Release them, pour them out to God. Put them into a chalice. Anything that is out of balance, that needs to be healed, put that into a chalice in front of you. Let all of that energy that needs to be released poured into the chalice. And now see that chalice lifted up, lifted up, lifted up to heaven, and taken by God and released. And God now, that energy of light is now filled with the pure healing light, and that chalice is poured back down, and you receive it into your entire mind, throat, heart, solar plexus, sacral area, root chakra, down through your legs, lower back, legs, knees, calves, feet, as a golden light. Breathe in that golden light. If there's any areas of concern still, let that golden white light spiral into any energy that you need to have cleared. breathe in rejuvenation. Breathe in renewing energy. Let yourself be restored to a perfect balance. Let love come into your heart and fill your heart with faith, hope, and light. Breathe that love in. Be that love. Believe that love is the love of God in you, healing you now. Believe that you are the beam of light of God's creation, and that energy from the light of creation flows from that one source to the soul. Believe that you are the living love of God. Believe in the clarity of being the instrument of God's living love and God's light within. Now, as we slowly come out, we're going to thank God for this energy healing. We're going to thank God for the unconditional love that's been given. We are going to believe that we are restored, renewed, and rejuvenated. And we say, thank you, God, and so it is. And I'm going to share with you a message I got. You are a reflection of God's beauty. You are the sound of Spirit and the Holy Word, all part of the living river of life, blessed by God's unconditional love. It pours forth from the source as the perfect light and allows you to accept your perfect imperfections. Sometimes you listen, sometimes you hear the sound of the cosmic vibrations that reverberates within our body here. We dream of love, we hunger for light. In the vision that redeems us, there is that spark, that part of spirit that lives forever, granted by eternity. Believe you are that wonderful healing energy. Believe you are the breath of wind that blows forth from the ocean. Let it feed that hungry soul with gifts you can't define. Believe you are the budding flower that shimmers forth with beauty so divine, that opens up to the sun when blossoms when love comes by. Believe you are the smile of the Master's love, with the promise yet to find. Yes, we all awaken to God in good time. Allow this energy and this healing to be absorbed by you in the living light of love that's alive in your body, mind, and soul right now. And it comes from the Holy One above. Thank you, God. So as we close this particular talk out today, I want to let you know that it's always a pleasure being here with you, that I share all of these talks for free on mysticalperspectives.com. I always close our Mystical Perspectives with the Aramaic version of the Lord's Prayer. Father, Mother of the cosmos, shimmering light of all, focus your light within us as we breathe your holy breath. Enter the sanctuary of our hearts, uniting within us the sacred rays of your power and beauty. Let your heart's desire unite heaven and earth through our sacred union. Help us fulfill what lies within the circle of our lives today. Forgive our secret fears as we freely choose to forgive the secret fears of others. Let us not enter into forgetfulness, tempted by false appearances, for from your astonishing fire comes the eternal song, which sanctifies us, renewed eternally in our lives and throughout creation. We seal these words in our hearts, committed in trust and faith. Amen. Today's talk was based on Spiritual Mind Power Affirmations by Dr. Paul Leon Masters. It's practical, mystical, and spiritual inspiration applied to your life. featuring 130 pages of affirmations to help you shed old mental and emotional patterns that will sometimes block you, and to connect you with your higher universal mind for guidance. And there is a new book that's also out called Meditation Dynamics. It's available at metaphysics.com and on amazon.com. And I thank you so much for listening. Have a blessed day.